everything you could have done, thought, imagined, or willing to do or not do, I've done all of them. I know all of them. I understand all of them. When I was single, I really liked kissing. Really, really, really liked kissing. I mean, it's okay for us not to have sex. It's okay for us not to cross any boundary. But we would at least kiss. It was just something I really enjoyed to do. Then I was surrendering to God, and God said, you have to also surrender your lips. Man. My lips, I've given you, I've obeyed you with sex, I've obeyed you with not touching. Let me have the lips now. But God said, also consecrate your lips to me, surrender it. Every single person usually says they want God to lead them in their relationship. We usually say they want God's will for their relationship. We say things like, Lord, my will, not yours. You can't say you want God to lead you and you are kissing. They don't go together. You can't say you want God to lead you and you are lying. They don't go together. You can't say you want God to lead you and you are manipulating the person you want to get married to. They don't go together. Welcome to another episode of Love with Ini. We're running a series, mirrored from our book, Your Person Recognizing the One. And today, I'd like to speak to you about something very peculiar, especially if you're a Christian and you are aiming to have a wonderful, God-centered marriage. Every single person usually says they want God to lead them in their relationship. They usually say they want God's will for their relationship until God's will begins to look like a different preference. It begins to look like, is God supporting me or is God against me? What does surrendering to God's will look like? We begin to say we want God to lead us, but we say things like, Lord, my will, not yours. But you step into the safety, the most secured part of finding your person when you actually mean those words. And I don't mean meaning them when you say them in church. I mean actually meaning them when you actually do them. Divine direction is not something to be fearful of. It's something you can surrender to. You can't say you want God to lead you and you are kissing. They don't go together. You can't say you want God to lead you and you are lying. They don't go together. You can't say you want God to lead you and you are manipulating the person you want to get married to. They don't go together. One of the things that happened when I met my wife was to come to the honest fact to tell her that this is all about my life, my past, where I'm coming from, where I am now, and where I'm going to. I want you to look at it clearly and decide if you want to be a part of that journey. I didn't have the best relationship, experiences. I fumbled my way through a lot of things, which is what even qualifies me to tell you, because everything you could have done, thought, imagined, or willing to do or not do, I've done all of them. I know all of them. I understand all of them. But if you're going to have the ability to choose right, you want to depend on God. The scripture says that riches and inheritance might come from your parents, but a good spouse is a gift from God. I'm hoping to get you to the point with this episode where you'll be willing to completely surrender to God. You see, God's logic doesn't make logical sense. You would see the person that is supposed to be for you, especially if you're watching this before 2030. You have grown up with so much junk, so much scripted distraction that when you see God's will, it will be looking strange to you. You'll be feeling like, what's this? I don't understand this. This is not what I thought I wanted. Or you know what? You don't know what you need like God knows what you need. So divine surrender is not giving up your desire. The wife I married is the wife I desire to marry. It's really now surrendering to your desire to God. Let God prune it. Let God prune it. I liked kissing. I still do. But it doesn't have so much sway over me like it used to when I was single. I really liked kissing. Really, really, really liked kissing. I mean, it's okay for us not to have sex. It's okay for us not to cross any boundary. But we would at least kiss is what I usually would say. Because I really felt like kissing was helping me connect. Kissing was helping me, feel the person's pulse. It was just something I really enjoyed to do. Then I was surrendering to God, and God said, you have to also surrender your lips. Man. My lips, I've obeyed you with sex, I've obeyed you with not touching. Let me have the lips now. But God said, also consecrate your lips to me, surrender it. So, surrendering my lips now also became a caveat for choosing. Because if I was talking to somebody, not dating, just having a conversation, and it looked like, maybe we're trying to understand our value system. And the person, in fact, there was somebody I was talking to, and I was saying, the way I am, I don't kiss. And the lady was like, what do you mean? I get it that you don't have sex. I get it that you don't want to touch. But kissing, I don't think I can do that. That just also drew the line for me. You see, trust the Lord with all your hearts and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. This is your path to finding your person. Don't trust your heart. Don't trust your heart. I'll say it again. In this your path to finding your person, do not trust your heart. Instead, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your understanding. Instead, let the Lord direct you. The Psalms tells us that I would instruct you and teach you in the way that you should go. God has your best interests at heart, and you want to get to the point where you surrender to Him. God wants you to have an amazing life. He wants you to have a beautiful marriage, and He knows who would enable you have that. You want to stop playing games with your Christianity with God. You want to stop, you can have sex in the night and lift your hands tomorrow morning and think everything will be fine. And it's not just sex. You can't be manipulative. You can't be lying and you think all things will be fine. You see, you reap what you sow. You can't play gimmicks with these things. And if you really want to be able to get to the point where, surrendering to God is a lifetime journey. Don't even surrender to God because you just want to get married. That's not surrender. That's you trying to do mutual exchange. And God sees the hearts. You want to surrender to God to the point where you are fine whether marriage comes, and you are fine whether marriage does not come. That's the point of surrender I'm talking about. Not the point of surrender because you want something. The point of surrender because you are satisfied with God. You are satisfied when He says, don't go here, you are fine. You're satisfied when He says you are talking to somebody and He says, it's okay not to talk to them for 2 days because, you have other things to do. And you're not panicking that this person would leave you when you don't talk to them. You are actually completely willing to follow God's instruction over everything else that surrounds your life. That is the point where you get to, and your needs will be met like a flash. That's the surrender. That's the heart posture. That's the place That's the place. No games. You can't play God. He knows your heart. You can't be saying one thing with your lips and be meaning another thing in your heart, and you think he doesn't know. He does. He does. I had to get to this point. No, for me, it was stop doing talking stage with anybody. Stop getting to the point where you're having a conversation with somebody and you're already thinking, is this my wife? Or how's the wedding going to be? What will our card look like? What gown are we going to wear? Then imagine walking down the aisle with the person. Stop that. Surrender. For me, it was surrendering my thoughts. So when you start having conversations with people, you just talk to them. You just talk to them. You don't really think about what could be or not be. You just talk to them because you believe, and you don't just believe it. You have come to the knowing that God's got you. That's the kind of surrender that leads you to finding your person. That's the kind of surrender that helps you get there accurately. In Jeremiah 10:23, the scripture says, a man's life is not his own. It is not in man to direct his steps. That is why there are many mistakes. You think you can figure it out by yourself. I'm here to tell you, you can't. You really can't. You can't figure it out by yourself. You need help. And for God to help you, you need to genuinely surrender to Him. You need to be willing to listen for His voice, to listen for His direction. See, the way I started talking to my wife, it was, when the person who introduced me to my wife did the introduction, the person said, this is the person I want you to talk to. I'm like, I know this lady, and I don't think I want to have a conversation with her. But you know what? It's not like we're going to even marry, or I'm not even bothered. I'm just going to talk to her. So can we speak on IG first? So can you help me get an IG handle? And that's how we got an handle. A handle. And we started having conversations. I was not thinking about it. Did I want to get married? Yes. But the whole desperation had been surrendered to God. I'd put all that aside to be able to follow Him. So because, most single thinks that divine direction is a sign. They think it's a vision. They think it's a dream. They think it's a green or red light. They think it's a feeling about somebody. But you see, in this kingdom, divine direction is really about surrender, not signs. You don't look for signs. You look for what just to surrender. It's really about you saying, Lord, I trust your wisdom more than my desire. You get to the point where you are saying, Lord, lead me even when it doesn't make sense to me. I will follow this path even if I'm not clear on how it will turn out. It's a part where you now say, Lord, block what you didn't design for me. I don't want to have it if you didn't bring it to me. It's a part where you now say, Lord, break what I build outside your will. If I'm constructing anything that doesn't align to you, I don't want to have it. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to process it. I want to be where you want me to be. And I want to choose how you want me to choose. So lead me, Lord. I want you to come to the point where I'm willing to make a ridiculous. You see, the things that God is asking you to surrender are peculiar to just you. They are peculiar to just you. So, because spiritual maturity is not when you stop wanting things. No. It's when you stop worshiping those things you want. That's what spiritual maturity is. You want the things, but you put the things in their place and you put your worship in its place and you put God as the focus of your worship. So, why? I'll give you a few reasons why surrendering to God becomes like a turning point in you finding your person. God sees the future. He knows. He sees. He sees. You are only seeing the moment, but God sees the future. So, who is it better for you to trust? You are seeing chemistry. God is seeing character 10 years from now. Whose senses does it even make logical sense for you to trust? You who is seeing the moment or God who is seeing the future? God also knows your purpose. He does. You are still discovering it as you live. So who is better for you to trust? God who knows your purpose and knows the spouse that fits the version of your purpose you'll be building in 5-10 years, or you who are just currently seeing where you are now? God often protects you from your patterns. Sometimes your types are often tied to your trauma. Your types are tied to your dysfunction. Your types are tied to your environment. You are attracted to your past. But God comes to the point where He pulls you out from the dysfunction and He heals you, and then you are able to move on. So you see, it only makes logical sense for you to follow God. It only makes logical sense for you to want to be like Him. So you have to let go of your way and let God. So you let go and you let God. Most people say they want God to lead them, but they still hold on to checklists. Am I saying you should not have a checklist? No, but put it at its place. Let God be on top. God will not give you what is not good for you. God is not evil. He won't give you something that is not good for you. But you have to just put the checklist one side and follow God. You have to put fantasy one side and follow God. You have to put your timeline one side and follow God. You have to put your pattern one side and follow God. You have to put away this image of the one and follow God. You have to be able to agree with God's non-negotiable for your life and follow them. These things will save you. It will save you. So, letting God write the story for you, letting God lead you to unfold the story really He has already written down for you. You have to let go of pressure. These are pressures you created for yourself. Surrender feels like I'm living the life and the script God has made me, so I didn't write this script. I'm following God's script for my life, so no pressure. You let go of emotional attachment. You are holding on to this one, hoping that maybe something will come out here. You surrender. You surrender. You let go of fear that God will give you something less. God who gave you His Son, the best gifts, even when you were sinners, will now give you a partner that is less for you. That's not possible. It's not. It's not possible. God can't give you something less. It's not possible. So, God will lead you through peace. You will just find, it's not excitement. It's not butterfly. It will just be peace. Sometimes the peace will even be unfamiliar to you. But you'll be clear that just be going. Don't say anything. Just wait. Don't rush. Calm down. And you'll be fine. You'll find alignments. Your purpose will align. Your calling will align. It's not your preference. It's not your acoustic feelings. It's not your chemistry. You will see Him lead you through wise counsel. Wise counsel. I don't mean opinion of men. I mean wise counsel. People will be able to say things to you that, it aligns with what you are doing and the life you are living with the person. You find it through transformation. You will be able to grow. As you grow, as you are growing in God, as you are surrendering to God, you realize that your appetite is changing. The people that you are attracted to, they are changing. The people you want to have bond with, they are changing. So your surrender is changing your perspective, changing your mindset, changing your posture, ultimately helping you see and attract your person. God sometimes we show you red flags that you didn't used to see before. So you see, there's a cost to surrender. You will lose control. There's a cost to surrender, I must tell you. You will lose convenience. There's a cost to surrender. You will lose your timetable. There's a cost to surrender. You will lose some relationships. There's a cost to surrender. You will lose your fantasy. But there are gains to surrender. You will gain clarity. You will gain peace. You will gain protection. You will gain purpose. You will gain alignment to your destiny. You will gain your person. When you're ready to, surrender is worth it. Because surrender is not cheap. But settling for less without surrender is way more expensive. In fact, your life will not be able to pay for it. So you want to toe the road of surrender. For a lot of people, your discernment will become sharper. You waste less time. You realize that, you don't get into unnecessary entanglements. Confusions will break easily. You'll be clear on what you want. You'll be so sure. When people come to you and they are counterfeit, they will easily fall off. The wrong people around you will lose access. All this just comes from surrendering. They just all come out from surrendering. Wrong people will lose access. You walk into relationships that will build you, and you meet people that aligns to your future. You are just clear. It's like you are moving with power. Then you would attract your power half to yourself. Those are the things that surrender does to you. So, divine surrender doesn't just lead you to your partner. It shapes you into the kind of person who can sustain the marriage you want. It's a win-win with surrender. Surrender is a win-win. So you can get the book to read more and know more. But tonight, I just want you to answer honest questions with yourself. Lord, what part of my life, what part of my relationship, what part of my heart, what part of this my love life have I not surrendered to you? I want you to show me, and I want to surrender it to you. I want to give it up to you. I want you to lead me. It's not like leading yourself has worked out, has it? I mean, you've been leading yourself all this while. You are still here. Why not try something different? Surrender. Surrender. Please, there's a workbook at the comment section of this post. Please use the workbook. It will help you grow. Get the book, and I'll be willing to hear from you. My name is Ini. See you next time. Bye-bye.